So let's talk about the calendar, because this is a super important part of the college admissions process, is knowing what to do and when. And I put together a calendar 9th through 11th, though there's some middle school aspects to it. But for the most part, this will just kind of give you an idea of what to expect moving forward. So if you happen to have a middle schooler, let's just start there. In a lot of districts, school districts, you can take high school classes in middle school, and it varies from district to district. So usually math, algebra, or math 1, depending on whether you're on Common Core or not, and often foreign language is included. Some high schools also have English 9 as part of the English 8 curriculum. So it really just depends on the school district you're in. The benefit of taking some of those classes early is that it can expose your student to the material, and then it allows them to take the higher level courses, which often have a higher weighting on them as they move forward. So middle school, great time to take high school classes if you are prepared. If you are not, then don't take those, because they do tend to go on the transcript. This is also a great time to explore career interests, because it doesn't matter. Middle school grades, no one's going to see them unless they're high school classes. So take what you're interested in, explore, have fun, just, really enjoy this time. And then at the end of 8th grade, if you want to make a 4-year plan, I think it's a great idea. You don't have to follow the plan, and honestly, plans usually get screwed up anyway, but it's helpful to have one moving forward so that you have a general idea of where you want to go. And then, just if you happen to be on a family vacation and you happen to be around a college campus, drive through it, see what it's like. This is a very soft introduction to the college admissions process. There should be absolutely no pressure here, unless we're talking about the high school grades, in which case, of course, you want to do well. So let's talk about 9th grade. You're an official 9th grader at the end of 8th grade. I know that sounds weird, because most people don't think they're a 9th grader until they start 9th grade, or, you don't think of yourself as being in one grade until you start it. But with the school system, you're actually considered a rising whatever as soon as you complete the grade you're finishing. So if you're finishing 8th grade, you're now a rising 9th grader. If you're finishing 9th grade, you're now a rising 10th grader. That's how that process works, just in terms of terminology. So it also works in terms of what you can count. So when the Common App, when it comes out, the things that the Common App is interested in and is going to ask you about is your high school activities. And those would count at the end of 8th grade moving forward, just so you know. So the summer between 8th and 9th grade counts. Here are some things that you can do in 9th grade altogether. You can volunteer. Volunteering is a great way to learn about something. If you're thinking, I want to be a vet, well, see if you can volunteer at the animal shelter or helping animals in some way. This is also a great time to get involved in clubs and activities. Schools are going to look to see how you participated in your high school. So a college is going to look and say, hey, what did you do when you were in high school? Because that's the best indicator of what you're going to do in college. Doesn't mean you're going to join the same clubs, as it means you're going to get interested and you're going to participate. So get involved. Find things that you like. You want to always do your best in academics. This may mean you need tutoring. It may mean you need to go in for extra help. You need to do the extra credit projects, whatever. But do your best. The better you do, the more options you will have. Everyone wants a good student. So the better you do, the more options you're going to have. You also want to journal your activities. No matter how smart you are going to forget things. And so if you have just a running list of all the things that you did, when it comes time to put those down on a resume or for the college activities and awards list, you will remember. So absolutely keep a list of those. Now, your school may naturally provide the PSAT or pre-ACT. It may not. If you have the option to take either one, I suggest you do. Why? Because I want you to get used to taking standardized tests. Are you going to do well? Very doubtful. Why? Because you haven't had a lot of the content yet. So I don't want you to become attached to the score. This is not something I want you to be like, ooh, how did I score? This is only a trial run. It's like, what does that look like? What does it feel like? How does it feel to be timed and have to read all these passages? So if you don't do well, that's my expectation. Don't worry about it. I'm just trying to get you used to it. Same thing, you want to drive through college campuses. You also want to take a course load that challenges you but doesn't bury you. So it depends on how your district works, but a lot of school districts, they try to make the transition from 8th to 9th grade a little bit softer than, say, from 9th to 10th grade. I don't know how your district works, but you want to take, if you can, if you feel like you're a good student and you're willing to put in the effort, then yes, taking honors classes. Some schools even allow freshmen to take AP or IB classes or pre-IB classes. Take them if you are going to put in the effort. And if you think at all you might want to be an art major, you need to start building a portfolio. I know it seems really early, but these art portfolios take years to bring together, so it's just something to think about. And then if you are a big athlete, you may want to start trying to go to the showcases so you can see what they're like. And those are places where colleges can recruit you. So that's why you may want to check them out. You want to be saving money for your college expenses. If you can get a job, great. If you can't, babysit or walk dogs or whatever. And I want you to make a point to meet your school counselor. Just make an appointment if that's how they operate and introduce yourself and say, hey, my name is so-and-so, and I just wanted to get to know you. I'm super excited about working with you for the next 4 years. It's an easy conversation. It doesn't have to be stressful, but I want your school counselor to know who you are. All right, now let's talk about sophomore year. So sophomore year, a lot of the same, right? So you're going to continue to do well, volunteer. Sophomore year, you often have AP classes, some of which may have a complimentary SAT 2 test. And if you're looking at schools that require SAT 2, which are subject tests, I want you to take your AP and then your SAT subject test at the same time. In other words, if you're testing May 5th for your AP and May 10th, the SAT 2 subject test is offered in that topic, I want you to take that test because it's so fresh in your mind. The other thing to consider sophomore year is getting more into your career interests, because a lot of times freshman year, all your classes are taken. You don't really have any choices. Sophomore year, you have a little bit more choice about what you want to take. So are there classes that might be interesting and as a career for you? So think about that. And also at this point, I want you to sign up for the SAT and ACT prep. They have questions of the day or different types of things that will get you familiar with how they're going to test you. And I want you to do those. It's a super soft way to start getting used to what the testing questions are going to be like. And when you become familiar with them, you understand more what they're asking. It doesn't take a lot of time. It gives you a really long runway for when these tests count. So sign up for them when you have the opportunity. And then you can also start attending college fairs. You can go on college tours if you want, but I want you to start thinking about what colleges are interesting to you. And again, super soft. This is just, I don't want any pressure around this. It's more interest. It's more, wow, this could be so cool. That's the experience I want you to have. And then junior year, things get a little bit more intense. Now, the reason is because it is at the end of junior year when those grades go in. Those will make up the transcript that a college will review when they make the decision about your admissions. Some people think their transcript will have all 4 years on it, and it will. It's just that when the decision about college is made, it's only made with freshman, sophomore, and junior year, if that's what the college takes. And then your mid-years will be sent in, and a lot of times those will be used in the admissions process too, mid-years being from your senior year. So, pay attention. This is important stuff. So, junior year, that's the time you kind of have a sense of your grades. You may or may not have any test scores. Start ferreting out and saying, okay, this looks like a school I might like to go to. Is this a reach, safe, or match school for me? So that you have your list together. Your junior year is when you take the official PSAT, and that will qualify you for the National Merit Scholarships. And you want to take that. It's typically October 15th, unless that's, doesn't work. But you definitely want to take the PSAT your junior year. Now, hopefully, if you followed this calendar, you'll have already seen that thing at least twice. You took it your freshman year, you took it your sophomore year. If you didn't take it, don't worry about it. You can do online prep for it. The people who test in the 99.9th percentile, the ones who become the national merit candidates, you don't need to try. I mean, if you want to try and make it go, if you're a great tester, it's totally worth your time because that can be attached to some really good merit money. If you're not, don't worry about it. Somebody else has to make up the 99.9% that boosts the other 0.1% into where they need to go. So, but it does get you used to testing, which is good because your junior year, you're also going to want to take the SAT and the ACT for real. Now, both of these tests, a thing to keep in mind is their math tends to end around Algebra 2 or Math 3. There might be a little bit more, but not a lot. So another time to do this is after you finish Algebra 2 or Math 3, you may want to think about taking that test for real. And then if you do really great on it, you can often use a super score in your reporting based on what a school is looking for. You're also going to do SAT 2 tests your junior year. And this is when your parents are going to start thinking about putting together their FAFSA and their CSS profile. Just poke around and create an account. You don't have to do a lot with it, but just start looking at it because this will come into play in a major way at the very beginning of senior year. You're going to stick with a challenging course load. This time during the junior year is when you attend visits. So when a college comes to visit and recruit, you want to be there if they're coming to your school and you want to have questions to ask. And I did a whole unit on how to work with the college admission staff. So make sure that you watch that to get some ideas. Junior year is when you need to be making a good impression for teacher recommendations. It is often the teachers of juniors who write those. So look around. You're going to want core teachers. So teachers who are teaching sciences, math, English, subjects like that. Those are going to be your core teachers, and those are the ones that are going to most likely give you the recommendations. So really try to develop relationships with them and keep them in mind for asking for recommendations. For athletes, it is super important to get to those showcases. A lot of athletes, believe it or not, are recruited between their sophomore and junior year, but there's also a big recruiting that goes on between junior and senior year. So make sure that you are getting your name out there. There's obviously a lot of recruiting that happens junior year, and coaches know who you are. Again, I want you to meet with your counselor your junior year. Your biggest job as a junior is to get the good grades. That the junior year is so important on the transcript. It really, because most of the time juniors are taking AP, honors, or IB classes, and a lot of times those classes have an additional weight attached to them. So junior year, you have a bulk of the weight coming through because you're now eligible to take those classes. So it's so important that you do well. Also want you to be talking to your counselor because they are going to be writing a recommendation for you early in the fall of your senior year. So you want to keep that relationship going. If you follow this calendar, it will really work well for you. You want to be involved, you want to be active, you want to just really make the most of your high school experience. You will be surprised at how much you were able to accomplish in 4 years.